What's up, my nerd friends? Today I want to do another tier list for the Thunder units. So after playing through the Endgame 2.0, also known as the Danger Zone, I have realized my tier list is incredibly wrong. Which is why I'm going to make this video to update the tier list, since we also got 2 more new Thunder units. So before we begin, we have to do 2 things, which is I'm gonna add 2 more tiers to this tier list to make it more correct. So first tier I'm going to add is best unit in what the hell is that? In some stages. So these are basically unit that is very good. So they are units that are fittingly go into the good category, but also has another gimmick that can help you clear certain stages very efficiently. Probably one of the best unit in those stages. And then we have another tier. Actually, I think I need to move this tier down a little bit. And let's put this here as the meh tier. So these are units that I feel it has use case, but overall, I don't really think them as too special. They're not doing one thing specifically good, and they are not really better than the best unit. Yeah, you could use them and they'll probably do fine, but they just don't really have that hook that just make you I want to invest everything into them. So yeah, this is the 2 tier I'm going to add into this tier list. So before we begin to rate the Erica and also Florine, I want to touch up every single unit I rated before, since the endgame has changed my opinion on many units a lot. And since the last tier list video, especially for Thunder tier list, a lot of disagreement happens. I'm gonna do my best to rate them differently this time. And also, my opinion on a lot of units has changed in general. So firstly, Michael. Michael probably stays the same, still in the best unit category. She just does a lot of damage. The percentage damage is like no joke as well. Although a lot of bosses these days has the percentage damage immune, which does lower the use case of Michael a little bit, but still, if there's any boss that doesn't have that, you can use her. She already does insane damage. Global teleport also helps a lot, and the global teleport also does damage, which is insane. Overall, Michael's still one of the best units. And we have the next unit, Requiem. Again, I think she still stays in the best unit category, and my opinion on her probably even raised a little bit. Like, I think she got better in my opinion because of the most recent endgame. The Shout and Shire stage actually required Requiem to get to 5,000 score, because you can clear all the monsters and gain back the Vis, provided if you have the breakthrough tree. And that is a very good breakthrough to have. And Requiem, also because inclusion of Florine, her chain combo is actually insanely good, and Florine double chain that makes her better. Just a really good unit, and got buffed kind of by Florine. Nothing much to say here. And we have the 4 tile converters. So this is specifically Grand Rue and also Beverly. So I think Grand Rue is still one of the best unit because you can convert tiles. That is already good. And her chain combo can paralyze unit. And because more and more elite monsters are introduced into the game, it seems like a staple at this point. Elite monster is probably not going to go anywhere, and because Paralyze can remove the elite status temporarily, it's a very valuable stat to have. And Granru can convert tile and also does that. It's just nice. But I'm actually going to move Beverly down to 1 tier, so I'm gonna move her to the good tier, because while she can convert tiles, very similar to Grand Rue, but outside of that, I think she lacks a little bit utility. She only convert tiles. Obviously, she's good. You can use her, but there's just a lot more other options you could consider when you're selecting your units. And we have Nadine over here. So Nadine is the only, well, I guess, good healer in the Thunder roster right now. She is actually still a very good unit. I think she is still deserving of the best unit spot. She can blind enemies, she can heal a lot, she can convert a tiles that can stay for like 2 turns. It's good. It's a good healer and good utility character. Blind is also a very unique stat that also she has. And potentially you can use the blind to cheese out certain stages or help you survive longer. It's just a fantastic unit. And I've also recently got the skin of her, so skin makes your character better. Yes. Just joking. And we have Kana over here. So a lot of people say that I have bias over Kana, but actually I think I rated her wrong. I think she deserved into the meh category. So far I haven't really seen much like specific use case for her. She just kind of okay. She can do a little bit of sniper damage. She can do decent active skill damage if the enemy is big, and she can knock back enemy, which is not really good status to have. Knockback is not really important in Alchemy Star. At least I haven't really seen any boss that need knockback, or most boss just immune to knockback anyway. So yeah, I think she's pretty meh. And right now we have Tessa. Tessa I still think is a pretty good character, not deserving of best unit, but so on a team that's specifically built for her, she can still dish out insanely high amount of damage. And the cooldown is pretty low, only on 2 cooldowns. So you can spam these AoE abilities all the time. And you know, it's one of the abilities that attack 2 times on a big AoE. It's pretty good. I still really like her. We have our cross converter for Thunder, Nemesis. Nemesis is a cross converter. I mean, nothing much to say. If you have the maximum breakthrough, is one of the best unit, but this tier list is only focusing on breakthrough 3. I mean, so 1 more copies specifically. Not talking about the maximum breakthrough here. If you don't have maximum breakthrough, I think Nemesis is okay. There is some use case you can use her because, well, she convert a lot of tiles, but because of the cooldown, it's a bit hard to use her in most of the stages. So yeah, if you have maximum breakthrough, hands down one of the best unit. Nothing much to say. Her chain combo and also the equipment is nothing remarkable. You only use her for active skill pretty much. So yeah, still one of the good unit. And we have Schwartz here. Schwartz board-wide AoE damage dealer with his active skill, and his active skill actually can do 2 instants of damage to everyone, and this is pretty good for removing shields. And I actually use Schwartz in the Florine stage because the clone actually have 2 amount of shield, so using Short can actually hit every single clone 2 times, even though you only use 1 active skill. So that's pretty good. But outside of that, the percentage damage will come in handy on certain stages. And Schwartz himself also do pretty good damage because of his equipment, which buff himself based on the numbers of Thunder Aurorian or Lumopolis Aurorian you use for some reason, and also buffing his defense. So he is pretty tanky as well. Just an overall nice unit. I think he is good and not very niche. You can definitely use him a lot as like a sub DPS or something. And now we have Luke. So Luke I thought was just a pretty boring unit, but my opinion changed a lot after the endgame. I think Luke is one of the best units for some stages. So Luke has the passive that, well, not passive, the equipment that can make enemy takes damage for moving. And you know, the formless in the current endgame move a lot, so every 2 rounds or something he will move to the edge of the map. So Luke can pretty much just solo kill formless if you have a high level Luke with well, level 10 equipment, of course. Luke is a very insane character. Now I realize that because his active skill is hitting a lot of time, so for every turn you get 3 stack of the whatever the mark is, and based on the mark you can hit multiple hits, right? That is very good for removing shield as well. And a lot of current endgame unit has a lot of shield. And Luke chain combo also hit multiple times. That means that you can use Luke to remove shield as well. So Luke is very good for enemy that move a lot and also enemy that has a lot of shield. And these 2 things makes Luke one of the best character for Thunder. And the passive is the equipment that make enemy takes damage when moving. Is surprisingly very effective. That's all I'm gonna say. He is a good damage dealer, and on top of that, having a very good specific use case for certain bosses. And we have Iridon over here. So Iridon is the select tile converters for Thunder, and the Prison Tile is kind of big brain. I haven't really changed much opinion for her. She is a converter that can do decent. Yeah, free cooldown isn't that high, and I do use her sometime. And I do find that Prism Tile is getting a lot harder to use day by day. Maybe I'm just not smart enough to use her, but I don't think she is that great. She's okay. And then we have Raph. So Raph recently got buffed, not because of any changes to her, but because of Florine. So Florine is a double chainer, and Raph herself is also a double chainer, but she's selfish, right? She only keep it for herself. But what if we combine two of them together? You get a 4-time chain. I'm not joking. You can hit 4 times if you combine both Raph active skill and also Florine active skill. That is a really good like burst window. However, because of how weird her equipment is, which is the stacking bullets, using Florine with Raph active skill, meaning that you will use all your bullets in one turn, which can be good or bad because, well, the good thing is you use them in one turn. The bad thing is you cannot use it on the next turn because Raph active skills last for 2 turns. And if you already use all your bullets with Florine active skill, then your next turn is pretty much wasted. I still think Raph just kinda need a little bit more rework for her to be good. She's just kinda awkward. I mean, yes, she's a global sniper chain that can do like splash damage, but I still don't think she is good enough to be in the best category even with Florine help. She's just one of those characters that's good to have, but you would really be sad if you see her in your 6-star summon, yeah. And we have Rebby. So Rebby is one of those characters that is insane in wave, but outside of the wave mechanic, she is okay detonator. Nice damage dealer, nothing much to say. Use her if you have multiple waves. She can really crank up the damage to very, very high. And yeah, good character. And then next we have Unimed. My opinion on Unimed hasn't changed. She is a really good out converters that you can use budgetly, but since she is a 3-star unit, you can't really go too much further. It's only up to Ascension 2. Her healing is low, her stat is low, damage is low, but you can get 1 tiles every 2 turns. It's pretty nice. And we have Dana. I will put Dana to the meh category. She is just kind of does something like damage dealer, and she can convert 1 enemy occupying tiles to yellow. Only 1. Everything about Dana just kind of scream meh to me. Like, you could use her, but would you though? Would you really? When you have so much like good character to choose from? She's just kind of those damage dealer that I guess I'll use her, but there's not much reason to. So yeah, that's my opinion on Dana. And we also have Mia here, also known as Baba Yaga. And I think my opinion on her is kind of same with Dana. She has these active skills that can do damage to everyone on the map, and for every single enemy kill you release a shockwave that does another 100% damage, but it's up to maximum 5 only because you can only get up to 5 stacks. So yeah, it's a weird character. It doesn't really see much play. Even in the current endgame where there's like a lot of enemy spawns like Corrosion or Shire, no one still uses Baba Yaga, I mean Mia, because the active skill releasing the shockwave is not like outstandingly good. Why don't you just use Requiem at that point to clear off all the enemies and gain back all the vis? It's not good. Just use Requiem. And we have Rebby here. So surprisingly, Rebby, my opinion on her changed a lot. I thought that if you pair teleport and knockback together, it would be pointless, because why teleport when you want to knock back enemy away? You want to get close to enemy, right? But actually, you know, I think I like it. So I think Rebby is one of those characters that is good in some stages. Specifically like the Formless in the current endgame. So the Formless can summon bombs, right? And when you are within one surrounding cluster of the bomb will explode. But if you can teleport and knock back the bomb away, you are basically safe. And yeah, Rebby can be pretty decent over there by having teleport globally and also knockback, which can help you survive longer, potentially. So yeah, it's okay. It's okay. And we have Vivian over here, which is also another character good in some stages. So Vivian is one of those characters that is similar to Mia, but he has one more upside, which is you can convert tiles to yellow, the enemy occupying, which can be useful for helping you get Aurora time on stages that has multiple 1-tile enemy, which actually there's a lot in the current event. Like I said, Shout and Shire, and also the Corrosion. And so Vivian also have the equipment skill that can buff your team attack. After she uses chain combo, she can buff your team attack. It's nice to have, and also because of the active skill also helps you quite a bit on stages that have multiple enemies. I think she can be pretty decent. And then we have Kafka. Kafka, I think she probably belongs in the same tier. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna move Rav down to the mid tier. I think these two characters kind of functioning the same thing, except that Kafka is 4-star, Rav is 6-star. So both are global chain and both has splash damage, except Kafka has an active skill that does a line damage, which is I guess better than Rav. But it's a nice damage dealer that you can use because she's 4-star. You can use her pretty much right out of the way, and she is just a good damage dealer. There's nothing much to say. Use her if you don't have one of these best units yet, which I actually more inclined to put her in the budget version of good, but I feel two of them are very similar, so I'm gonna group them together. So Ansia, because of Erica, I think I want to put her in your niche right now. So she used to be the only tower resetter on Thunder, and her tower reset is only 2 cluster around her. I mean, yeah, why use Ansia when you can use Erica at this point? Erica can also reset tower. Erica can also paralyze unit, and Erica reset way more towers. So Ansia kind of get degraded because Erica exists right now, unless there's a reason to use both at the same time, which I don't think there is. I don't think you need to use Ansia anymore. So yeah, niche character, it's not useless, but I really hardly can see any use out of her right now. And Echo. So Echo is the only, surprisingly, only teleporter outside of Michael in Thunder. Sadly, she is a 3-star though, so you can't really get too much out of her other than to teleport. But seeing that she is the only teleporter outside of Michael, I think she deserves a spot of budget version of good. Yeah, use Echo if you need teleport and also don't have Michael yet. And Amy surprised me a lot. I thought she was just main character, but she can be pretty useful on survival stage because of the 100% defense buff. And you can actually put the flag on top of you so enemy can never destroy it, and just have this perpetual defense buff. It's nice. Good in some stages, I guess. And then next we have Keating. So Keating is good in some stages. So Keating is the only character in Thunder that can debuff the enemy to make the enemy takes more damage from normal attack. And because of that, I'm gonna put her in here. And because the chicken can be pretty useful as well sometimes, because I actually didn't realize this before, her chicken can actually paralyze a unit, and there is a condition for it though. The enemy need to have at least 6 stack of laughter mark in order to paralyze the unit. And like I said, because the elite monster is more and more prevalent right now, paralyze is better, and having the option to paralyze and also aggroing enemy, which can be pretty useful. I think she deserves integrate in some stages category, but I still wouldn't really use Keating that much because she doesn't really do damage, and she can buff the normal attack damage, which is very useful in some stages. Let's say the stages has a modifier that says your active skill damage is reduced, your chain combo damage is reduced, then maybe Keating can really help you over there. Alright, this one. I'm sorry, Eve fan. I'm so sorry. For rating Eve so low, after playing through this endgame event, my eyes has opened for Eve. And I'm gonna put her in the same category as Luke. So Eve is basically one of the best, if not the best, shield destroyer in the game. She hits her active skill hit multiple times, and if you have the maximum breakthrough, she hit up to 25 times. And that can pretty much just remove any shield in the game. Like in the current end game, the Formless comes into the game with 20 stack of shield. So if you have Eve, you can just remove all of it, which is pretty good. And there's like a lot of enemy these days just have like some type of stacks that only is removed per hit. And because Eve has the highest amount of hits, and Eve is the highest damage dealer for single target enemy by active skill in Thunder, I think she is very much deserving of the spot of best unit in some stages, because they are bosses that you can only kill with active skill, like a lot of bosses in endgame. And I just think she's a very nice addition to have for bosses that you really need to kill with active skill, for bosses that has multiple shield stacks. Eve can remove it. She also has the stun, which can be useful, I guess. Yeah, good unit, but very one-sided because I don't think her chain combo really does much. But yeah, great unit. I'm sorry, Ethan, again. And then we have the next one, Pitman. I think Pitman's still in a niche category right now because Pitman just have two conflicting things about him that doesn't want to synergize each other. So he has a knockback ability, which is nice, and he also has an equipment that gains shield when you get hit. So basically, knockback means you don't want to get hit. Gaining shield means you will get hit. So which one is it? And why don't you just use a healer if you want to survive better? Why knockback? And obviously, there might be a scenario when you want to knockback and also get shield at the same time. But how likely is that? Very unlikely. That's why he is in the niche category. Is there a chance you would use him? I can see that, but maybe once in a million year. Yeah, him is just kind of niche right now. Don't really see much use for him except for being a battery for Tessa, and he himself also does okay damage, like just okay. Nothing much to say. And we have Bonacier. So Bonacier has an equipment that is very similar to Florine, which also buff your Thunder Orient 10% chain combo damage. But then the mark will be removed when Bonacier takes damage and is regained after you use her active skill again. It's a very niche character yet again. I know that the chain combo buff is nice, but the thing is, her active skill is weird. The moving of mobs just doesn't really seem much use at all. If it ever get used, it's probably very niche. The only use case I can think of her is, like I said in the last video, if there's a lot of traps in the map. But so far, I haven't really seen that yet, so Bonacier currently still in the bench until there's a better stage to use her. And the next one I'm going to talk about is Lilium, which I rated no one used them. Because at that point, when I made that video, I didn't really know she can lower the enemy defense on Ascension Tree with active skill. How much? I don't know. The active skill doesn't really tell me how much. So I'm just left here unsure how much defense she actually reduced. And she also can lower the enemy movement. And doesn't say how long is that? Like, is it forever? Like forever cripple? Is the mob forever crippled by just using active skill? I don't know. But I can see she being pretty niche. The scenario where you need knockback and the slow effect and also defense down at the same time is probably very low, but can I say she's useless? No, not really. So yeah, she's in a niche category. And we have Hachin Gin, which I was rated low, not because it is actually bad, but because I don't know what he does. But after doing some research, after seeing people test him out, my opinion on him has changed a lot. And I think he is one of the good unit. Like that's a big change. Like going from no one used them to good. Holy cow, that's a big jump. And why is that? Well, it's very hard to explain why Hachin Gin is good. But basically, he has one of the highest damage on active skill on a 2x2 enemy or bigger. So he is actually not very good on enemy that is only 1 tiles. But if you have a 2x2 or a 3x3 boss or mobs, and if you are standing on the perfect position, you can actually hit a 4 tiles enemy 6 times with active skill. And depending on where you are sitting, the multiplier can get really insane. So obviously Hachin Gin rewards you for standing further away from the enemy. And you know what else rewards that? That's Erica. So Erica actually makes Hachin Gin a little bit better now, which is why I'm more inclined to put her in a good category. And yeah, Hachin Gin just a very solid unit that just does a shit ton of damage for a 2x2 enemy if you need the active skill damage. But outside of that, she has the global chain, which can be useful as well. But yeah, I'll probably do another video in the future explaining why Hachin Gin is good if you guys want that. I know his active skill is very confusing. But jumping to the next one, Angel. I still think Angel is pretty much useless. I mean, first of all, she's a 3-star damage dealer, already very hard to use because your stat is getting locked behind only able to achieve Ascension to level 50. Her active skill is very unreliable. You can hit the whole board, but you can potentially not hit anyone because of RNG. Like chain combo just sucks. Like everything about her just don't use Angel unless you want to meme or something. And we have Erica, which is the newest unit finally. Rating Erica, and I think Erica is quite good actually, in the good category. Erica just has a lot of stuff into her, and you can pretty much use her in any stage. I wouldn't really say much about it. So Erica has Reset, which is, other than Ansia, she is the only one that can do that. Reset can help you clear broken tiles, can help you clear runes, and some of the more rare tiles like the burn tiles or something. And she can also paralyze unit, one unit that you hit with active skill, and that can help, of course, with elite monsters. And she just does okay damage. I mean, the equipment is pretty unique, buffing your Thunder team the further away you are, and it's a perpetual damage buff as well. Doesn't mean you just use her and you can get the benefit already. It's just a nice character. Can't really fault her too much, but just not good enough to be in the best unit. Decent unit, not much to complain. And we have Florine. So Florine is the newest addition to the Thunder roster, and she is the double chainer that we have asked for so long. That Twodog, I guess, finally did it. We have a Thunder double chainer now, but unfortunately, I don't have much to say about her because she's a double chainer. We already know a double chainer exists and how good double chainer are. And I guess she is good. You know what? Nah, I'm gonna put her in best. Provided if you have the second breakthrough, which is the preemptive strike. She is the best double chainer because she reaches 6-star. That means she has better stats, and she has the addition of -1 chain combo requirement for using when you use active skill, and she has higher multiplier than other double chainer, which is 95%. And Thunder can obviously utilize double chainer better because Michael exists. When you double chain, you get 2 more stacks of the silent mark, I think that's the name. And Requiem can also get 1 more hit, which equal to 2 more hits because how the equipment works. And Wrath can actually be usable now, although I still rate her meh. Florine just helps a lot, and her equipment is also fantastic. 10% chain combo damage buff. Unlike Bonacia, it's always active. Like even you get hit, you still have it. So yeah, and her chain combo is also 2 cluster, which is my favorite. She's just a good unit, and if you have the second breakthrough, you probably want to use her a lot in most stages. And if you don't have her, I would say she's a good unit, just kinda okay. But the second breakthrough definitely makes her really good. So yeah, that is the updated tier list for Thunder unit. Let me know what you think. Do you still hate this tier list like the last one does? I'll see you on your next video. Peace.